All right, so lesson 3 is all about engines. So first is the internal combustion engine. This is the one that you're probably most familiar with. It's the engine that you find in a car, truck, bus, tractor, those sorts of things. Everything's inside, internal. Understanding how an engine works is the first step on how to repair it. Um, when I was in college, I had to take a class called Small Engines, and we had to take apart a lawnmower engine and rebuild it. And that was really eye opening, and it taught me a lot about engines and how things work. And just having that knowledge is going to help you down the road, just knowing, being able to figure out some sort of mechanical failure, because you're probably going to experience some of that some point in your life with vehicles. So there's a picture of a V8 engine, or part of it. So the internal combustion engine generates power to move by the burning of gas, oil, and other fuel with air inside the engine. So it's inside it. Combustion, or the chemical process, this chemical process of releasing energy from a reaction produced by fuel and air. It produces hot gases that drive the movement of pistons. So the piston is the part that goes up and down. It's the moving component contained by a cylinder. The internal combustion engine consists of a fixed cylinder and a moving piston. Energy from that engine moves through the vehicle and it eventually powers the wheels. So let's go to this link right here. So you go to this link and it's going to give you a good video on how a car engine works. So I encourage you all to watch that on your own. He really goes through some good detail and shows about that. Most engines today are four-stroke engines. That means 4 piston strokes are needed to complete a cycle. So it's got to go up and down 4 times. So it's consisted of 4 different processes. So you have the intake. So that's the intake. The valve opens, piston lowers, vacuum is created by this process, and fuel and air enter the cylinder. Then it's compressed. The intake valve closes, the fuel and air are forced to mix together. Then combustion and power stroke. So during the power stroke, the piston rises and the spark plug ignites the fuel and air mixture, and then you get exhaust. Finally, the exhaust valve opens, releasing any remaining gases through that system. Today, 2 different types of internal combustion engines are in common use: spark ignition and compression ignition diesel engine. So spark ignition is a gas engine. It's usually used in automobiles. And the fuel is mixed with air and then inducted into the cylinder during the intake process. Piston compresses the fuel air mixture and the spark ignites it. Compression ignition diesel engine. Only air is inducted in the engine and then compressed. The diesel engine creates combustion by spraying the diesel fuel into the hot compressed air at a sustainable measured rate. Diesel engines are commonly used in large trucks and buses, but they're also used in cars. Diesel engines typically tend to give a little bit more power. That's why they're used in these larger vehicles. So it's important to maintain and know how to perform maintenance on your vehicle. This is what's going to make them last longer. So each system is crucial to the operation. So your fuel system, the engine lubrication system, the cooling system, electrical systems, and transmission. So the fuel system provides the fuel needed. The engine lubrication system keeps oil moving through the engine. Internal combustion engines generate significant heat. That's why you need to have a radiator and cooling. Keep that engine from overheating. Electrical systems in a vehicle enable it to start. They also control any computer components, which today we have a lot of. And then the transmission system changes gears, adjusting the amount of force and speed. In addition, vehicles of all types include suspension systems to keep the vehicle even and on the ground. So when you take care, change your oil according to the recommendations. Don't go 5,000 miles past the oil change. It's, you need to change your oil for a reason. Use the fuel suggested for the type of engine. Keep in mind that some engines, such as lawnmower engines, should be fully drained for the winter. Gas can deteriorate in as little as 30 days. Let the engine warm up before driving. Okay. Change belts as recommended by the manufacturer. So typically that's about 60,000 miles. Check the entire vehicle, tires, brakes, other parts. So power is measured in horsepower. HP is a unit of measurement. There are many different standards and types of horsepower. Usually it's around 750 watts. And that's how we measure like the power of an engine is we typically use horsepower. Okay. Tractors, they're going to use compression ignition diesel engines. They have a great deal of power, but they're not very fast. But tractors don't have to be fast. They just need to be powerful and reliable. So it says think about a sports car and a tractor. They're very different needs. You can't pull a plow with a sports car, and you'll creep along at the slow speed of the tractor. As farms increase in size and have higher productivity demands, tractors require more power to meet with pulling all of this equipment. So the bigger engine is typically impractical. Instead, manufacturers work to increase the horsepower available in the engine without increasing the size.